Hey everybody, gotta turn the light on. Sorry about that. We got to turn the light on. Now I'm looking so sharp. Let me go grab the link, and we'll post it on our website. Patience. Website is denverguitarorchestra.com. Sheet music and daily schedule is posted there on the front page. Enter, edit, settings, open a new window, update, and update. All right, so that should get everybody in here. I'm running 5 minutes late today, which is terrible. In internet time, that's a week, and that's unacceptable. All right, link is working. Wait just a minute to let everybody get loaded in here, and I will put us on Twitter real quick. Let's go on / Denver Guitar Orchestra.com. And the picture. Go up and up. Guitar, photo, tweet. All right, there's that. And then notifications. All right, so we got that set up. Good morning, Vix. She says the sound is good. Thanks for being here. I am super running late today, but that's because I was trying to finish up that classical song of the week and get it posted, and I was just pushed it too far, and I still failed. So, what are you gonna do? So today we're gonna play Segovia, we're gonna play Farmer in the Dell, we're gonna play Itsy Bitsy Spider, and we're gonna wrap it up with Last Rose of Summer, which is the reason to play guitar, because it is beautiful. So let's start with Segovia. We'll get started. Everybody else will be in here in a minute or two. And let's use the Cordoba today. I've been using the other one this week. And let's see how this little guy is sounding. We're still doing measure 3 today and tomorrow on the Segovia pattern. And good morning, Pauline. 67, expected low 80s, having a perfect week up there in Northern California. Vic didn't report on the weather, so I'm assuming that it's perfect there as well. We are having a perfect day here in Denver. High clouds. I don't remember what it's supposed to be. My cat is sitting in the sun staring at me and doing this on his little perch out there. He looks beautiful. Let's play the Segovia patterns. Good morning, Elizabeth. 54 and sunny. Arlo's in. Remember, we're on fret 17, right? So I always have to count them out. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's this one. All right, 17. Let's run just through measure 3. Let's play it twice. And then starting next week, we'll play measure 3 today and tomorrow. And then starting next week, we will do 2 through 2 and 3 together. So we'll go all the way up and come all the way back down, and that should probably keep us busy for the month, to be honest. So these scales are they're a lot of work, guys. That's why people don't do them. That's why I am against them. I think there's better use of my time, but I don't want to be that guy. So we're going to learn them. Measure 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I apologize. I don't think I'm on the right frets. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I am on the right fret. Okay. From the top, 1, 2. Let's do it again from the top. 17. Time I really messed that one up. Let's from the top. Ready, play. Got the pattern. I just can't get it to be consistent. All right, let's do measure 3 again tomorrow, and then we will start combining the 2 and 3. Good morning, Evelyn. 67 degrees and sunny in Cuenca. Sounds like a good, happy Tuesday morning to you. Way to get your day going. Let's see. Let's go grab Farmer in the Dell. We covered this in some detail yesterday, and so we just want to play through it in the various ways that we play. And so Farmer in the Dell. Let's do a couple of times through with chords to come up with 2 different ways of playing with your right hand. In 6. 1, 2. Let me just count in 2, and then we'll go 1, 2. The farmer in the dell. The farmer in the dell. Hi-ho, the dairy-o. The farmer in the dell. Again. The farmer in the dell. The farmer in the dell. Hi-ho, the dairy-o. The farmer in the dell. Okay, those are 2 possible right hand techniques. Well, you got a lot of choices. Remember, in 6/8, you're really playing in 2 probably, and so you're always thinking 1, 2, 1, 2, and this song really cooperates with that. Let's play the melody. Remember, grab your A chord. And you're going to play all of the melody notes while holding your chord down. You're going to have to make some modifications with your ring finger from the top. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Lift your ring finger up and put it back. Oh, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Couple of zeros, and then you move your ring finger down. These 2 fingers don't move the entire time I'm playing that, and everything is falling under my fingers really pleasantly, except for occasionally a second string. I've got to move this up or down, and just one time I've got to get my ring finger down to the first string and then get it back in time. And so once you can do that, then you can do tough acts. Okay, and that is the same exact thing, except instead of plucking each individual string, you're going to strum down until you hit the correct string, and then your thumb is going to rest on the string directly below that. So let's walk through it one more time, just make sure we're clear, and then we'll play it twice. So hit the 2, and your thumb rests on the third string, and then you're going to do a little strum, 0, 2, 2. Your your thumb is going to rest on the second string. Whoops, I hit it. It's the second string. Let's try it again. And then 3 2s. Strum it. And there's a decorative note. Hit the 2 and the 0. Each time my thumb is just resting on the string below it. And then I'm going to go grab that 0. I got to lift up my ring finger. And then I put it right back and strum 0, 2, 2, 2. Again. 2 decorative notes. Okay, now I'm going to strum the whole chord finally. Gotta grab my ring finger. You could use your pinky here, but it probably makes the most sense instructionally to use your ring finger. And then put it right back. Lift up your ring finger, put it back. Lift it up. And then 3 strings. Let's go to the top. That's if you're playing what I always refer to that as fingerstyle, because I just think you're going to be putting in both melody and chords, and you're putting it in a kind of a bold fashion with your thumb going down. If you want to play it classical style, you switch to your claw position. You notice you're never going to play the top string, so there's no point in even putting your thumb up there. You're only going to be playing strings 5 down, and the only place where you run into a challenge with classical style is in measures 5 and 6. You're supposed to hit 5 strings, but you only have 4 fingers. We don't use pinky. You'll use pinky when you are getting your master's degree in classical guitar, and before that you probably will never use your pinky. And so when you see a 5-string strum like you see at 5, if you want to stick in with your claw position, you drop these 3 fingers down to the strings 1, 2, and 3. You still leave your thumb on the root note on 5, and you just don't play string number 4. So that's the plan, okay, when you get there. From the top, let's just do it one time through. 1, 2. Let's play it again one time. The other thing you can do when you're playing in classical position is roll your chords. So in other words, you want them to be as quickly as follow it. You don't want to be too slow or they'll end up sounding like eighth notes. But if you go, right, so what I'm doing is trying to create the chord as quickly as possible, but just pluck each string individually rather than as a group. It's rolling your chords. On piano, rink, right? Remember, rink. Same thing on guitar. You just pluck all of the individual notes real quick instead of all at the same time. Try it. Last time through. 1, 2. Yeah, so that's a yet another way to think about options is can you take your plucking chord, your claw chord, and then start dividing that up into mini glissandos, right? And it does take a little practice. Right, that's really an arpeggio there, but if you do it real fast, get kind of this rolled chord feeling, and it sounds kind of cool. So there's that. All right, Farmer in the Dell. Lots to learn on that one piece of paper. Today we're going to tackle Itsy Bitsy Spider and Last Rose of Summer. Itsy Bitsy Spider is in book 2. And again, some of you will be teaching at some point. You probably are like, nope, that will never happen to me. And then all of a sudden your best friend will come to you and say, hey, the girl next door, and there's no way you're going to say no. And so then all of a sudden you're helping somebody learn guitar. So I think the one thing that I do to kind of get out of some of that, because it happens to me quite often, obviously, is I really don't think kids should start on guitar until they're 9 years old. I really don't. 4th grade, that's when you should start on a guitar. Prior to that, I'd way rather them working on, when they're little kids, I want them to do percussion so they can get used to rhythm, right? Get their heads bouncing around. And then I do think starting them on piano first is a much smarter decision than on a fretted instrument, because they learn to listen, and the piano pedagogy is actually good, whereas guitar pedagogy for the most part is pretty random. And so I would way rather little kids start on piano so they get where they understand how the notes are and how the music works. But once they hit about 9 years old, then I don't have an excuse anymore. So then I'm like, all right, come on, let's go learn it. The other thing too, look at their hand size. If they got teeny tiny hands, you may start them on ukulele first, which is what every guitar person should do. Start them on ukulele, move them to baritone ukulele, and then when their hands are finally big enough to do guitar, let them do that. But let them build their strength up on ukulele first. And then the other thing, and of course guitar teachers are like, nope, I don't know how to play ukulele. I wouldn't. The strings are in the wrong order. I'm just going to start them on guitar and give them easy stuff. And I just don't think that's the smartest system in the world. I do think, if they're teenage boys and they want to start an electric guitar, I show them a handful of bar chords and let them do their thing. They don't stick around typically, but I will tell you, and I probably mentioned this before, I had one young woman, I think she started when she was about 10, and by the time she was 14, and all she played was out of the books that I have. She was really, really a fine guitarist, and then she turned into a teenager and then decided that she was going to make her own decisions about life, and then she went on her way. But I do know that at some point she'll come back to music, and she will have amazing skills. So I'm not saying I necessarily miss her, but I do miss her listening to her play. All right, Itsy Bitsy Spider, G chord, we've done that one. Goes to D7, guys, which is a kind of a bummer. They're not even related, doesn't feel like, but they are best friends. Okay, let's go through it a few times, make sure your chording is good. So again, 6/8 time, we think of that as 2. 1, 2. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Okay, and I don't have it as a lesson on here because honestly it's usually too early for most players to be thinking about this. But think about your other chord pairings, G and D7, right? So those two go together. So what if we did an A, B, C, D, E7, right? So you could do this song that way in A and E7. So try those. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. So that's A and E7. B, I don't know what a B looks like on guitar. We'll skip that one. C, what about C? What's C's best friend? C, D, E, F, G7. So D, which we did yesterday, right? C to G7 and back. All right, ready? Play. The itsy bitsy spider went up water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. So there's G and D, or C and G7. What are the others? C. What about D? D's a good chord. D, E, F, G, A7. All right, so D. Okay, let's try that one. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Okay, so you've got D. We can even do E. E's probably one of the harder ones. Over to your B7, which was in I'll See You in My Dreams yesterday. Back to E. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Okay. So you end up with trying to figure out which key sounds the best for your voice. Those seemed, I think A was probably my best one. D started to get super high. E was definitely out of my range. And sometimes you can drop your voice a full octave when you're singing like that, and then play at a higher octave and sing at a lower octave. That happens a lot of time when I'm doing arranging. I will have that happen where I'm like, that's too high on the guitar, I'm going to lower it down, which causes the chords to sound a little bit higher, but the melody to sound a little lower. So it's always interesting how that how your voice will kind of fight that. Let's see. Have not been paying attention to chat. Elizabeth says, should you start the roll before the beat? Rolling seems like plucking. Nice to learn reading music. Nice to learn reading music and piano. Yeah. No. So, guys, I apologize. I've been paying attention to the chat. Let's go first to Elizabeth's question. Let's grab G chord here. And just pretend we're doing it. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Elizabeth, I think that's going to depend on the situation. I would say for... Let me put it in a different key. The itsy bitsy spider, it's the water spout. Down came. It seems like I am starting it just a hint before the beat, right? I think you probably want the majority of the chord on the beat. It's a great question. I think it probably depends on the song and your purposes a little bit. If you want a little bit of a lagging sound, I think start it on the beat. If you want it to be basically on the beat, you probably do have to start a little bit earlier. That's a great question. What's the easiest ones? D to A7. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Yeah, I think you're right. I think music that's starting on just a hair before the beat. So that's fascinating. Good ears, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a professional musician, so she has much better hearing than the rest of us. That's a good point. Yeah, it does feel like I'm starting it a tiny bit early. Absolutely. Rolling seems like plucking. So yeah. Yes, Vic says, hey, what's the difference? She didn't say it this way, but I'll say it this way. What's the difference between the itsy bitsy spider versus the itsy bitsy spider? That's the same activity. It's just that instead of everybody at once, everybody's going to come in slightly after the other. It's interesting because lute players actually have their hands backwards, and so for them that type of thing is going to be probably much more challenging when you're looking at a lute strum versus a guitar strum where everybody's nice and neat and orderly. Yeah, so yeah, I do think it's exactly like plucking, but a little bit sort of advanced plucking, right? And you'd only use it on rolled chords. You wouldn't use it as the only technique you used in the piece, or it would probably sound crazy. But it does sound pretty when you get it, right? And it's another technique to work on when you're working on your chords. Work on your rolled chords and see how they come out. And Nancy says, nice to learn music in piano. I think, everything that I do when I'm handing out sheet music, I know that deep down inside, underneath everything that I know, it's really piano that's running the show there, because I can see the keyboard, everything's in order. If I'm on a B flat, I know that there's a C next to it, not whatever, or a B next to it, I should say. I don't know what's next to a B flat, but you can see music so much easier on a piano keyboard once you can see it. Music theory is in front of you on a piano. Once you get that basic baseline of music in your head, then I think it's much easier to transfer over to one of the other. It transfers over into the other instruments, and every other instrument, of course, is built off of the piano keyboard. In Western music, that's not true of Eastern music. Eastern music, they have different ideas, but Western music is all built off of the piano keyboard. Rolling doesn't sound as harsh as plucking. Yeah, it gives you a new guy. Sorry, I've never really brought it up before. It gives you a different feeling. On some guitars, if you got metal string guitars, it might sound like too much. It can sound a little dulcimer-like if you're on a metal string guitar. We also, when we tend to learn a new technique, right, we tend to botch it up pretty good. But by learning that technique, you will probably get more sensitive to your regular pluck. Like, do I want this to be kind of loud versus this? You'll end up treating your the other ways of playing more wisely because you have this new idea. Rolls are probably easier / faster using nails. Well, I've got my nails sort of about where they're about to break off, right? This is the problem with nails and having a life, is that you work on your nails every morning and do your little filing and all this stuff, but they get to a point where they've been around a while and they're like, okay, it's time for you to pick up a box and ruin them. But my nails are probably in pretty good shape right at the moment. And yeah, they're pretty easy to use, right? But if you don't use your nails, well, right now I can't not use my nails. I would do the exact same technique, and I would have a softer sound theoretically, right? Is it like tremolo? Tremolo. Well, we want to make sure we know. Tremolo has a tendency to be a back and forth between notes. Is like that. So you usually in tremolo think of it as up, down, 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 which is different than vibrato, which is a very slight variation. That's vibrato. So with tremolo technique, I would learn it this way. Whoops. Where I'm actually crossing the fret wire. And then what you do when, at least in classical music, when they start you with teaching you tremolo is use just one string. So use your bottom string, ring, middle, index. And I find I do not have those skills, so I'm showing you what I understand to be tremolo, and then knowing and freely admitting that I don't have the speed to pull it off. But the purpose of that is you're playing the same note over and over and then changing it. And so if you wanted to play Frere Jacques in tremolo technique, it would be... And I don't think I'm giving you bad information here. I'm just giving you wildly incomplete information on what tremolo is. It's really sort of it's a much more dramatic alteration of pitch and repeated notes than you would think of as vibrato. In ukulele, we think of that as tremolo, is up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Creates a nervous kind of feeling. I think the same thing on guitar is your I think it's how I would think of that. Let's see. Let's see. So that's my thought on tremolo. I think I wouldn't consider this a tremolo. Yeah, so it's just a fast arpeggio. Yeah. That's a way to think of it, Elizabeth. I think of it as a slow glissando rather than. That's what they sound very similar, but there's definitely a difference in tonality overall. Right? So there's that. All right. Tremolo. Like in Asturias. Yeah, Asturias, that's the famous guitar piece that's the entire song is. And it takes you years, right, to get where you can have complete control at that speed to make all of your notes sound identical. And so a lot of guitarists end up working on Asturias. I would just work on Frere Jacques and do the same technique, and I'd end up with the same thing, and I'd end up with a way cooler song. Not necessarily. Let's play. We're getting behind here a little bit because I do want to go play Last Rose of Summer. So let's grab the Itsy Bitsy Spider and let's play. Now first note's a 4, right? Super annoying. I grab it with my pinky. And then let's play just however we want to, 2 times through. 1, 2. All right. One of the things that I obviously, as I was playing through it, I'm like, why did you arrange it this way? And I'm realizing the purpose of this arrangement is to actually practice your plucking style, because it's not really set up for downstrum very well. And I was, of course, fixing it as I was going along, but it really is set up to be plucked. And then a lot of times when you pluck, you may not put on the full chord. So it's really set up to be plucked. I probably ought to leave myself a note to pluck tough axe for in the future! Exclamation point. All right, so there we go. Let's see. Don't use tremolo on guitar much. Do it frequently on that. Yeah, I think, especially with the style. Arlo, as you guys know, is a pretty advanced chord player, and he knows his chords inside and out. And it's not. It's definitely not top of the list type of thing that you would do on a lot of stuff. I think more in classical guitar you use it, and then of course mandolin. That's what you do. Use a pick, up down, up down, up down, up down, and it's huge. Let's see. All right, let's see. Warren. Good morning, Warren. 2:45 a.m. here in Sydney. Oh, Warren. Oh gosh, thanks for being here, Warren. That's a crazy hour. 2:45 is not a time. All right, we're going to run out of time here, so let's go through and play Last Rose of Summer. I will be honest with you, this is one of my very favorite songs. So just absolutely beautiful piece of music here, and it's Last Rose of Summer we're doing, right? Yeah. It's not in my book. Maybe, did it used to be in book 4? I bet it used to be in book 4. H-I-J-I. Let me see if I got it here. I know I have it somewhere. I've played this before. Last one, there we go. It's A-A-B-A again. So once you learn the first part, you've learned the second part and the last part. And we'll play it through 2 times. But basically, you want to learn the first 4 measures and measures 9 through 12, and then you've got the whole song put together. It is delightful. The Last Rose of Summer, very last, oldest rose in the room, he plucks it and tosses it into the compost with all the other dead roses. So a lot of sensitivity, a lot of beauty, A, E, and D chords. That's it. It's just absolutely delightful. The poetry is by Thomas More. He is the poet of Scotland. And Edward Bunting put a ton of his poems to music. And a few of them are like, oh my God, that's really a home run. So just a beautiful piece of music here. Let's give it a try. You're going to have your A chord with your 5. Other than that, it's all basically in standard position. So let's give it a try. 1, 2. Oh, God, Gary. All right, let me get on the right string and then we'll play. It's a 3-beat count in it. It's a waltz. It's in 3, so you should only count in 2 anyway. 1, 2. trying to roll chords through that whole thing. It does end up sounding super busy, maybe not to its benefit, but a couple of them came out pretty nice, right? So you might reserve that technique for moments in the song, maybe transitional moments or moments where there's a high drama. No flowers from your kindred, no rosebud is nigh, right? So those moments where you get that high bum, that might be a place to roll it in there a little bit. And so just one more technique, not necessarily recommending you do an entire song like I just tried to do. Just sounds busy when you do that. But I did have one student who came to me for ukulele who had taken a ton of classical guitar, and her tendency was to roll all of her chords. Tried to talk her out of it a little bit. So once you start doing it, it becomes a little addictive. So that's a beautiful song, right? You should play that one. That one's awesome. All right. Tomorrow we have last day of Segovia Patterns Measure 3, and then we will combine that up. Farmer in the Dell, and then I tossed in a couple of Mexican songs in there for Cinco de Mayo, and I will see if I should be able to get both the classical song of the week and Las Mañanitas done. In the ukulele classes, people just adored Las Mañanitas, and so I want to have it on guitar. I think it's beautiful. And then you guys will have Thursday, Friday off. I would say Thursday probably ought to sit down and just play through all the Beatles stuff, and Friday take the day off. It's Mother's Day weekend, right? And then we'll get back at it next week. I won't be here Monday. I have goofed up the what I thought was the calendar is not what the calendar is. So we won't be here Monday either. So you actually have a Thursday for a 5-day weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You have a 5-day weekend. So that's a great opportunity for you just to play, right? Just play without Gary messing up your life, and use those days. Try to sit down at every day and play just for a little while. And some days it's fine just to play songs you know, right? You don't have to always be pushing yourself trying to learn something new. So there we go. Insomnia. I know, Warren, that is brutal, man. I am so bummed that you have to deal with that. I have several, not at least one good friend who deals with insomnia all the time, and he's oftentimes I'll get emails from him at 5 in the morning, and I know he hasn't gone to bed yet. All right, Evelyn, thanks for you. It's good to see you. Vic, great song. It's a beautiful song. Play that one. And Pauline, you bet. Guys, everybody was here. Elizabeth, Warren, Arlo. I think that might be everybody. Did I talk to everybody? All right. Delighted you're here all of the time. If you can log in to YouTube or Gmail, then you can use the chat bar and you can give me a thumbs up, right? And eventually they send me a Lexus. And so I'm a ways from that. And then it's like Mary Kay, right? I just keep showing up until I get a Lexus. And then that's all I have to say. So have a wonderful day, you guys. I'll see some of you in harmonica, some of you in ukulele, and some of you tomorrow morning. Have a lovely day. Thanks.